What is going on, YouTube? It's Dmachine, and I'm here to bring you a thorough guide to Ret Paladins during patch 5.1. Now, before I start this guide, I'd like to get on the same page with all you guys when it comes to hybrid melee DPS and where they are right now. So when it comes to the three hybrid melee DPS, we have Feral Druids, Enhancement Shamans, and Ret Paladins. I mean, all three of them have good bursts. Ferals, for peels, they have their stuns and they have roots. Enhancement Shamans, they have purge and totems. And Ret Paladins, we have our other abilities like sacrifice and freedoms and things like that. Ferals have things like symbiosis. Enhancement has their hex CC, which is instant. We also have aura mastery, but Feral also has that amazing cyclone. So that amazing cyclone is going to be nerfed in 5.2, but for right now it is very overpowered. The problem with all of our abilities is that it can all be easily dispelled. What do I mean by that? There has been more and more offensive dispellers. Shadow Priest, things like that are very common in Arena right now. So our freedoms and our sacrifices and all that can be spell stolen or dispelled very easily. But we also have the best off heals, which is what has made us viable. But ever since 5.1, the off heals of all three of the hybrids have been nerfed significantly, and Ret Paladins have been taking the biggest fall from it. For this nerf, I've been trying to find a way to be viable. I've tried all sorts of comps, and they sort of worked out, but at the end of the day, all the comps that I played, I could easily be replaced for a different class to make the comp even better. And here, I'll give you some examples. These are the current comps that I played in 5.1. And this is the most successful in this order. Ret Shadow Priest Shaman, I've reached 2200 with. Ret Warrior Shaman, I hit 2150. Ret Feral Shaman, I hit 2100. Ret Warrior Holy Paladin, 2080. Ret Elemental Shaman, Resto Druid, 2k. Ret Fire Mage Shaman, 1980. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not saying any of these particular comps can't get higher than this. I'm just saying that these are the comps that I was successful with, and with good 2200 players in 5.1, and it's been very difficult. Unless your MMR is already very high and you're playing with other players with an MMR that's very high, it is hard to get to these ratings from square one with, say, a T1 weapon. All these ratings were achieved with my T2 weapon. So I'm going to jump right into Glyphs from here and how I combated the hybrid nerfs. So jumping right into Glyphs, these Glyphs change every single comp I play. Now, when fighting, say, a God comp which has a Shadow Priest and a Frost Mage, I turn evil instead of Double Jeopardy. I stick with Templar's Verdict for just about every comp, and Flash of Light stays for God comp. And while facing God comp, I also spec into Burden of Guilt if I'm running with a warrior to help stay on our target, because it's more about pressure and less about CC when running with a warrior. For Kitty Cleave, I run Flash of Light, and instead of Double Jeopardy, I run Divine Protection to increase my physical damage by an additional 20% when I wall or use Divine Protection. When running with KFC, I run Melee Wall in Double Jeopardy, and I spec into Sacred Shield because they're most likely going to be tunneling you as a Ret Paladin. So having that absorbs is better than having off heals on yourself because you don't heal yourself as much. Especially Selfless Healer doesn't heal you as much. Yep. So, I mean, so that's how I try to combat the 5.1 hybrid nerfs with this Flash of Light glyph for majority of the time, but other than that, I run Sacred Shield because trying to absorb the damage in the first place is better than trying to use our nerfed off heals to heal ourselves. The default talents I run are right here. Now, these do change. Long Arm of the Law is by far the best gap closer in the game. It is the most frequent gap closer, I should say. And you might not get as far in the same amount of time if you were having like 3 Holy Power and Pursuit of Justice, but to really close that gap to other players and close it quickly, long arm of the law is for you. Fist of Justice I usually run, but like I said, I do switch the Burden of Guilt when running with a warrior, and closing that gap for me and the warrior and slowing a range target is very important against certain comps, so I will go Burden. Selfless Healer can be switched to Sacred Shield pretty often due to the nerfed hybrid heals. Clemency is by far the best. The double freedoms, the double bop, the double hand of sacrifice, those are still what makes us viable. So Clemency still the best, giving us 2 of all of those. Hand of Purity can sometimes be switched to when fighting a Fire Mage due to, I forgot what it's called, Living Bomb. They have huge ticks. Hand of Purity is big for that, but still I wouldn't recommend it. I'd stick with Clemency. Holy Avenger is still the best, and I'll tell you why. Holy Avenger offers 2 separate controlled bursts with wings, and then Holy Avenger. So they're both controlled bursts, and there's 2 separate bursts instead of one just RNG one. It also offers a good generator for Holy Paladin when we need to off heal, because we don't have our off heals don't hit as much, so we can't rely on RNG. We have to generate those off heals and pump them out as fast as we can. And not only that, but Divine Purpose is very RNG, and I do not like to rely on RNG to win games for me. Holy Prism is the best damage due to its short cooldown. It can also be used to off heal, which we definitely need to do more of, because we have to utilize all of our utility to off heal now that we've been nerfed in our off heals, like I've been saying over and over and over. But it also does instant damage versus the ticks of execution sentence. So if you want to know how to reforge and gem your paladin, go ahead and check out my reforging and gemming guide. Here, I'll put a link right on the screen for you, and more guides coming soon. Guys, also, if you're interested in joining Got Nerf, we do offer tutorials, we offer guides, we offer one-on-one Skype calls if you have any questions about key bindings, compositions, abilities, anything, any questions at all, and you want one-on-one help from someone who's been in the top 10 of the bracket in the current season. We have plenty of players that would be willing to help you, from classes like Warrior, Ret Paladin, Resto Shaman, Feral Druids, all of it. So if you are interested in getting better at PvP, we will help you do that. All you have to do is whisper someone in guild. All experience is welcome, and I'll see you then. Also, guys, we have 1 open officer position slot. We're looking for a PvE raid leader. Now, if you are familiar with the current PvE content and you want to get your own 10-man group going, please give me a tell in-game, or leave a comment on this video explaining your experience with the current content, and explain why you should be our new officer for Got Nerf. So, or to give me a tell in-game, and I will be choosing an officer by the end of the week. Alright, guys. My name's D. Thanks for watching.